Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video we will be taking a first look at the game Scramble, Battle of Britain. This is obviously a PC game. It's published by Slitherine, and this was part of the Steam Next Fest where there was a demo version. This is a demo version. It has been updated since Next Fest. So this is obviously there's development is ongoing, so this is a slightly different, maybe slightly improved version, hopefully slightly improved version of the demo from Next Fest. So I'm going to kind of just go through basic stuff. We'll look at the training missions, and then later on, as the game develops further and we get a little closer to release, assuming I still have access to the demo, I will update with something more, so you can see as the game develops kind of how it's improved and so on and so forth. So we're going to start here by clicking on missions. Now the interesting thing about this game, if you're not familiar with it, is that it is a tactical dogfighting game set obviously in the Battle of Britain, but it's turn-based. So you're going to plot your moves, and then the aircraft will execute those moves, and you have a dynamic battle space essentially between you and the enemy. And so the training missions kind of set you up to show you how this physics-based model works in a turn-based setup, and gives you the opportunity to kind of learn how this thing actually works. So it's not a Twitch game where your ability to rapidly press buttons and maneuver joysticks and so on and so forth is going to be beneficial. This is more of a thinking man type thing where you're going to plot your moves, and you might need to think a couple turns ahead in terms of how you're going to move, because it's physics based. So things like your climb rate, your dive rate, your pitch, yaw, all that stuff, throttle, all that stuff matters. So let's get into the training here. So there are 3 training missions. Shoot and kill is basic. That's the one we'll look at first. Then we'll look at lead your target. Depending on time, I may do the multi-aircraft thing, because you can control more than one aircraft in this. And so on this one, you're pretty much all, it's just you shooting at the enemy. So we'll start here. And basically, this is what the battle space kind of looks like. So you can see your compass rose, your 2 aircraft. The enemy's in red, you're in blue. It's obviously a Spitfire versus an ME-109. And it's all keyboard controlled. So you hit spacebar, and this actually starts your setup for your turn. So as you can see, it shows your flight path. It shows the enemy aircraft. You've got these bars here which would indicate kind of altitude and so on above the deck. In this case it's water. You can see some ships out here. So we're over the channel. Down here in the corner we've got our airspeed, right? So you can see if you hover over things you get tooltips unless you hide them by hitting F1. And it tells you what everything you see on the screen is telling you, right? Speed and altitude represented in energy. Color fill shows the current speed and altitude states. So you can see the yellow is our airspeed, the blue is our altitude, and you've got your pilot name here and all kinds of other information. Well, maybe not all kinds of other information, but other information. Up here you can see you've got 1 aircraft against 1 aircraft. This is our Messerschmitt here. You can spin, you go up and down, so you can change your view. The way you can, the way you control your aircraft is also via keyboard. Basically, the WASD keys, your kind of standard keys. See, that's a bank. And then anytime you do something like that, you end up changing the flight envelope essentially, so that you will have to adapt to that in the next turn. So if you bank, you're going to be in a bank most likely starting the next turn, which may also impact your altitude, because as pilots know, when you turn the aircraft you tend to end up losing altitude unless you compensate for that. So these are all things that you'll have to keep in mind, and it's kind of a learning process if you're not familiar with how, you know, flight mechanics work. So in this case, all we want to do is shoot at this Messerschmitt. So we're gonna, if you highlight or if you click on this, right, this is our pilots have to be commanded to fire, so they're not automatically going to fire. Bullets have physics, so you have to lead your target. In this case, we're on his 6, we can fire right at him. Friendly fire is dangerous, right? When you have multiple aircraft, you don't want to shoot your own wingman or another friendly. You want to make sure you're firing at the enemy, and you do have a limited amount of ammo. So if we hit this, now you'll see it shows you, and the green indicates that you're hitting the target. Right, so we're right on his 6. We should have no problem hitting him. Then if you hit enter, you go right to the next turn. So if we hit enter, and then enter again, you also have the opportunity to go back to the planning phase. If you're like, oh, I made a mistake, I want to change it up. And you can see we're hitting him. And so now he's got some damage. Now it looks like we're actually turning a little bit here. Right, so we can correct for that. And then again, if we enemy aircraft are out of play, match will, oh, okay. So in this case, we can just exit. I never get that right. It says X plus enter, and then it doesn't exit. All right. So you can see, hey, he's going to, whoops, that's not the right key. You can see that he is going to, he's nosing down, and it looks like out here he's going to actually impact the water. So this would be a good opportunity maybe to show how the flight controls work. So if you hit the W key, you bank left. The D key banks you right. S will climb, W will dive. And then, so you can see here, we're kind of already in a bank, so we're gonna gradually come out of that and try to level off. And then again, if we hit this twice, we'll fly. And so on and so forth. This might be something that doesn't work. Again, this is a beta. He has crashed, so you can see now we've got our results, because once the enemy is down, it's over. We got a flawless result, 5 stars, and it tells you, you know, the pilots who survived, the aircraft who survived, anybody who was shot down. And then enemies, there will be bombers and so on. Obviously, Battle of Britain, they did try to shoot down the German bombers, etc., etc. Down here you can see that the pilot parachuted out and the plane is down. Your plane is good. We hit exit, we can go back to the main menu. In training now we can do lead our target. So this is a little bit more challenging. Now we're going to have a situation where we're not on the 6 and we're going to have to try to lead our target. So, all right, we've got N. Wellman here. And if we turn our view, you can see we got kind of like a 45-degree angle going here. So what we want to do, and again, if we hit, see now this is the firing area here. If we hit this, you can see we're going to hit them without moving. Now, if we change it up to try and be on his tail a little bit, we'll try it this way. Right? So here we go. We're going to slightly bank and we're going to fire. And we're going to hit him. But now we got a new situation, right? Because he's on a level flight path, pretty much. So what we have to do, and you can see that because I turned, I'm now slightly nose down. So I'll have to turn more, but I'll have to kind of climb too. And you have to be careful because you're going to end up actually moving out of the, you're going to actually it's hard to stay level, let's put it that way. And your throttle here, you've only got 3 settings. You've got full, cut, and half. So full is obviously full power, cut is very low power, and half is half, right? So now we don't have a firing solution essentially here. So I'm going to try to not be too nose up as I come out of this turn. So I'm going to turn, and it looks like something happened here. Did he punch out? I guess lost right aileron. All right. Now you can see I'm obviously, you can see this here, we're lining up a shot now. So right there, it looks like we're going to be pretty good to hit this guy. So let's see if we can finish him off. And it looks like that. Oh, I forgot to turn. See, there you go. I forgot to hit the guns to actually fire. Pilots do not fire automatically, so I screwed up. Well, that's a bummer. So now this just became more difficult. So let's just do this. I had him dead to rights. Dead to rights, man. Alright, so we're going to climb, and we need to turn, and you can see we got a little bit of a firing solution there. So this time, let's fire at him, and let's go. Opened canopy, so he's bailing. His right wing is gone, so he's basically toast at this point. So he's out of there, and his plane is going down. And once he hits the water, we'll get our score, because I know I can't get it to actually do what I want it to do in terms of, can we just level off here? Why his plane's not down? His plane is down. Why are we still going? All right, I'm just going to kind of move quickly through this until the mission ends automatically. All right, so we got him. There it is. So another flawless result. This isn't really difficult. It takes a little practice, again, to kind of figure out how to maneuver your aircraft so that you're not diving into the water or climbing and burning off all your airspeed. So this is pretty cool. It's obviously still in beta. This is version 0.04.05, I believe. And as you can see down here, it says alpha gameplay. So this isn't technically even a beta. It's an alpha version, so it's a demo. It's a demo. There's going to be a lot more meat on the bones here as they finish development. So instead of going to the multi-aircraft, I'm going to stop here, and we'll save multi-aircraft for the next video on this game, a little further on in development perhaps. But I did want to kind of show this because I was given the opportunity to play this in the demo phase. So definitely wanted to show anybody who might be interested in this. The tactical approach is kind of cool because it doesn't matter if you've got great reflexes anymore or never had great reflexes or whatever. As long as you can figure out how the physics work, you should be able to perform pretty well at this. So that will do it for now. I thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them. If you would, consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. That would always, of course, be welcome. But yeah, that's it. I'm Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.